Hi, I'm Dawn, and this is where Shabby meets Bling. I'm doing something today I've never done before, and that is creating gingerbread style Valentine's decor. I have dipped my toe into that Halloween gingerbread decor, but never Valentine's. So this should be very interesting and a whole lot of fun. My co-host for this Valentine style gingerbread extravaganza is Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World. You will find the link to her channel as well as this playlist of other amazing creators in the description box below. I will be starting with gingerbread conversation hearts. While out thrifting, I picked up these conversation hearts. They're gonna be these paper mache hearts. And right now they're gold, but we will change that. First thing I'm gonna do is paint. I love me some paint. If you notice that there are brush marks from whoever painted these things gold, but I don't care. That's kind of insignificant because of the texture we're going to put on these when I'm done. So we're first starting with a coat just on the front of white paint, and I am using white house paint. I have a ton of it, and I use it whenever I can. It is simply a flat white interior. I will be applying 2 coats. To designate where my letters are going to be, I'm using these little stickers from the Dollar Tree. They're nice and small, perfect size, absolutely perfect size. And I'm going to be doing 3 different little messages, little conversations. And my first one is kiss me. And if you look at some of the things they say on the conversation hearts, there's some really cute little sayings, and you can make up your own. I have chosen 3 of the classics: Kiss Me, Be Mine, and Cutie Pie. Now that my little sticky stencils are on there, and I have done a video on sticky stencils, so I will put that link in the description box. But now that they're on there, I'm going to burnish them really well, and I'm going to give them another coat of that white house paint to seal my letters in place so that when I go for my next step, that paint doesn't bleed underneath my letters. That coat of paint that I used as sealer is now dry, and now I am going to paint them, all of it, the front, sides, and the bottom. I'm going to paint them all gingerbread color, and I need to make sure I get every little bit because you once you peel these off, you don't want part of the white showing that you don't want to show. That sounds weird, but okay. You'll see what I mean. I am painting all of it, and I'm just making sure I'm getting in all the cracks. I'm not actually going to let this white paint underneath the Cutie Pie and the Kiss Me and Be Mine show permanently. That is just to designate an area where I'm going to add some embellishment. But all of these hearts now need to be painted thoroughly my gingerbread paint color, which happens to be a mixture of 2 plaid paints. One is nutmeg and the other is chestnut. They will also be getting a second coat. I don't want any of that white showing through. Not that it probably will when I'm done with this anyway, but you know I like to be, what's my favorite word? Thorough. I want to be thorough. So paint we will. If you have ever seen any of my gingerbread videos, you know I like to use white sand to look like sugar. Well, you know what? I found brown sand. I have so many colors of sand, it's not funny. But the brown sand, it looks like brown sugar. So in place of sugar on the exterior of these, I shouldn't say exterior, but shall we say the perimeter, where the letters aren't, I am using brown sugar. So a little coat of my paint, and then I cover it with that brown sand to give me the look of brown sugar. Make sure you get a nice coat of paint on there because you can't touch up after the fact. If you don't get it the first time, you don't get it. So make sure you cover it well. Now for the tricky part. I am using a blow dryer, or any of you that have the heat guns, use those of course, to release my sticky stencils, my little letters. And you kind of have to have a vague idea where they're at So you go ahead and you heat them up, and then you're going to peel them off. And after we're done with this, I'm going to use some white dimensional paint and white sand to enhance the letters. We'll be using this candy box and this pretty decorative paper to create the box for my conversation hearts. It's not going to be what you see in the stores. This is going to have more of a kind of a beautiful Valentine's vintage twist to it. Hey, the gingerbread part of the conversation hearts is different, so why shouldn't this be? This pretty pink paper here will be the lining for the inside of my box, and that pretty green will be on the exterior. And on the cover, I'm going to use some of these images. I'm going to cut them out, or as a lot of people say, I'm going to fancy cut them. I'm going to cut them out. I'm going to cut them out and use a couple of them on the cover to enhance. These images come from Traci Vanover Designs. I will leave the link in the description box. Now for some gingerbread and white chocolate roses. Come Valentine's Day, we have all seen those chocolate roses. Everybody has. They're everywhere. Every cash register has them for, that impulse item, that last minute, did you forget? Pick up a rose. So why not gingerbread and white chocolate roses? Why not? I picked these really pretty roses up for a song. They were 40% off at Hobby Lobby. Original price $2.99. Picked up 6 of them, half dozen. And I'm going to create some faux gingerbread roses from these pretty, pretty roses. I have taped off the green area below the rosebud itself, and I am painting each and every one of my roses that pretty, pretty, pretty gingerbread color. You would be surprised at how well these roses take this paint. They really took it well. Yay. Yay. They took this paint so well that I'm only going to have to retouch anything that might get hit with my white paint when I start painting the rose stem and leaves. So once my rose buds are complete, then I move on to the leaves and the stems. And yes, that's my kitty Friday saying hello. Some of the leaves I ended up taking off. The ones that were on there really well to begin with, it just made it a whole lot easier. And once again, this is that same white interior flat house paint I used in the previous project, and it looks like white chocolate. I could have spray painted the stems and leaves, but I felt the hand painting looked more chocolate-esque. Once I'm done with my roses, I will either box them, how when you get them delivered, or I would maybe put them in cellophane or in a vase. I'm not sure yet. We shall see how these end up shortly. And now for the most popular Valentine's gift, a heart-shaped candy box, gingerbread style. You can't have a heart-shaped candy box without a heart-shaped box. So I picked this little number up last year at Goodwill for a mere $1.29. And I think I picked it up post, and I think it was a red sticker. So I think I may have gotten it at half. I usually do. And now that Blue has gotten himself out of my box, I can start working on it. It is metal, and that's my fave. I have painted the bottom part of my heart box with my 2 gingerbread colors, a spray paint, my Rust-Oleum, the 2 tones I use. I've done videos on how I use those 2 paint colors, and I will leave the link to that video in the description box below. These beautiful papers, we used some earlier, but I did pick up this pad at Walmart, and it's a good deal. You get 50 sheets for like $5, and I'm going to use this beautiful, beautiful pink and red in the bottom of my tin box. And I'm also going to cut out a heart shape to put on top of my candy. I was lucky enough that the insert was still in the tin, so I've used that to trace and cut out for my top heart. My lid needs some decor, so why not put on the word love? That's what Valentine's Day is all about. So I popped into Canva and I simply printed off this little scrolly love word. And I'm cutting it out and I'm going to take it and I'm going to make one of my sticky stencils out of it. And yes, I love my sticky stencils. It's just what I'm used to doing because it's so quick and easy. So I'm cutting them out and I am going to then glue, just with a glue stick, these letters, and I'm keeping the O and the V together. It's just going to make it easier because they're very thin. The letters are very thin, and I'm going to glue them onto one of my peel and stick paint samples. And this is one of the easiest ways to make a sticky stencil. So I'm taking all my letters and I'm going to use as little space on my paint sample as I can because I use these all the time. I don't want to waste any. I haven't found these in a long time, so I'm a little bit stingy with my paint samples. And once they're glued into place, then I proceed to cut them out very, very, very carefully. And now Blue wants to help. But once I get them cut out, then I am going to apply them to the lid of my heart box. Now you can see it's already painted pink. And I probably, okay, let's face it, I was going to settle with this pink color. I end up changing it. So here nor there, I'm putting my love on here, and I'm going to add some of these little heart stickers. They're going to act as sticky stencils as well. And I'm adding some of the hearts on here, and then I'm going to paint it. And you can see I've painted it my gingerbread color again. And now we need to peel off those sticky stencils. And the little hearts came off super easy. I did not need to apply heat, but they just came popping right off. And once they came off, then I did use my blow dryer to get the word love off. And once all of my sticky stencils are off, I'm going to enhance this even more. I will be using some of my little glittery heart vase fillers from the Dollar Tree that I picked up last year at Valentine's Day. I have not seen them this year. I'm waiting patiently. I think they've got them at Hobby Lobby, so I definitely need to get more. If you see these, pick them up. They are really versatile. So I will be taking the little red ones and I will be painting them to look like gingerbread. Little tiny gingerbread candies. And I know you've seen these in the stores. I've seen them in Aldi, actually, little gingerbread hearts. Once again, I am painting them with my gingerbread paint, my little mixture, my tried and true, my never fail me gingerbread paint. And I like it because it looks like crumb. When you paint over anything that has glitter on it, it looks like the crumb of a cookie or, you know, a little pastry. I love it. So we will paint all of these little gingerbread hearts, which I have added a little wire to for easy painting. I do this all the time. I keep my wires. I keep those wires for other tiny little things that I want to paint. And I always pick up cardboard boxes like this at the grocery store to stab it in the side. Super easy. Yeah, don't get too messy, although I tend to get really messy. But it helps. I have been asked how I've created some of the candies in the video Valentine's Heart Box. So this is the way that I created some of my wrapped candies. I just took some of those little foam vase fillers and I covered them with aluminum foil. And then I spray painted them. You can cover round ones as well to make little round candies. You can cover anything you want. And you can, if you can find colored foil, it makes it much easier. I am using some colored foil in this video, and you will see it at the end because I'm using some of my own foam candies to put in my heart box, as well as the ones that I've painted. Beautiful candies need to be put into pretty little candy cups. So I have picked these little beauties up at Walmart, and my candies will be going in them. So pretty. Are you guys ready for Valentine's Day? Well, I'm ready for Gingy style Valentine's Day. Let's take a look. here's my box for our conversation hearts. You will notice I kept those little heart stickers that were painted in the process of decorating my tin. I kept them and reused them. Of course, I don't throw anything away. And there's those beautiful images from Traci. And I added a little sparkle. It's Valentine's Day. If you're going to add sparkle, now is the time. Christmas and Valentine's Day, little glittery bling bling. Oh yeah. And you can see the pretty papers. And then inside, oh, there they are, our conversation hearts. And you can see how I used my little sticky stencil area to give me a guide to write my little message. And there's the little messages for someone that you think is cute, or you really want to be yours, or you want a kiss. Yes, indeed. Brown sugar gingerbread conversation hearts. And when they're packaged, just line up your favorite one in that window. So as you give your little gift, they can see what you're after. Oh, Valentine's Day, you gotta love it. Keep in mind, you don't have to do these gingerbread. You can use the exact same method and make them the traditional green and pink and yellow and blue conversation hearts that you get in the store. So this is just a fun twist on that same idea. So I decided to put my roses in a vase. Actually, it's a jar. It's a jar, a glass jar with a beautiful glass lid that I picked up at Goodwill for like $2. And inside, used as frogs, I've used some of my cute little candies that I've made. And that ribbon, that beautiful ribbon, that's Christmas ribbon, believe it or not. Pink on one side, red on the other. But hey, to me, it screamed at me Valentine's Day. So I used it. So I made a pretty bow with that beautiful Christmas ribbon. And I took another one of Traci's images and added just a tiny bit of bling and placed it in a heart pick from the Dollar Tree, right in with my roses. You can see the stems and the leaves with chocolate with a little bit of sugar. And there's our beautiful little rosebuds, gingerbread rosebuds. Also, with a hint of sugar, brown sugar, all in a beautiful vase. And I love the fact that instead of a frog, I use candy. Why not? With the white and the sugar, it just makes you think of winter as well, a beautiful winter wonderland. And let's face it, we're still in the middle of winter. So it is cold and icy and frosty in many areas. And yet white chocolate and sugar, simply fabulous. Let's take a look at our candy heart box. Here's our lid, also sprayed to look like gingerbread. And I've also sugared it as well. And you can see how I just used the outline, very similar to our conversation hearts, as a guide for dimensional paint and sand. Let's take a look inside. There's that beautiful pink paper. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love this paper. And then here are our chocolates. You can see the little hearts that we painted gingerbread and some of my foam ones that I made to look like milk chocolate and gingerbread as well as white chocolate with sugar on top. And there's some wrapped ones. It's amazing how realistic they can look. I even added some of my bonbons in the mix for variety. Thanks again to Jackie for putting together this Valentine style gingerbread extravaganza. Make sure you check out the playlist with all the other creators. The link will be in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, share it with your family and friends and anybody that loves Valentine's Day or decor or even gingerbread. You can follow me on Instagram and make sure to check out my shop on Etsy. Leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. And the best way to support my channel is by subscribing, so don't forget to subscribe. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling, And I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Happy Valentine's Day!